Welcome, welcome, welcome. Men's Call. What an incredible privilege to have you. Can you believe we're already charging into this year and G5 conference is coming up April 19th, 20th, and 21st. I got some people in the house with me tonight. I love it. I got some people out there right now that I'm so excited you're on and you've made a decision tonight to be with us. It's so incredibly important. I want to say thank you to our tech team that is just killing it. Spencer, TJ, Seth, thank you. Blake, thank you so much for being a part of this. And I'm honored that a few of my friends are here tonight and we got a bunch of you online. It's so precious to see you. Hey, I want to talk to you tonight just real quick about discouragement. Have you ever fought discouragement in your life? Discouragement is a wild, weird thing because sometimes you're discouraged because things are not going really, really well, but sometimes your greatest discouragement is after your greatest win. You've had your greatest sales week. You've had your greatest week of making a difference, making a positive impact in the world. You've had a great week in your relationships. And sometimes the letdown just brings this kind of heaviness of discouragement. Sunday, I had the privilege to speak on don't ever give up. When you get the urge to give up, just make sure you stay in the fight and keep reminding yourself, when I commit, I don't quit. I finish, I get the job done. I don't know how many of you have somebody in your life that's discouraged. I would encourage you not only to encourage yourself, but to encourage people that are around you, to encourage the people that are closest to you in your life, to make a phone call, to send a text, to do a drive-by, to get a cup of coffee with somebody and build them up. The world belongs to the encourager. And there's a lot of people discouraged right now. Even people that are winning big, they just feel this overwhelming sense of discouragement. What do you do? What do you do when you feel overwhelmed with discouragement? Things have not turned out the way you planned. They haven't turned out the way you set your plan of action and purpose. And I realize there are people on this call today that you've had big wins this week already. And some of you are going, it just wasn't where I wanted it to be. What do you do? Number one, revise your expectations. I think unmet expectations is probably one of the greatest weights of discouragement. When you feel disheartened or discouraged, I just want you to revisit your expectations. Unmet expectations almost always drive a sense of discouragement. I thought I was going to be here. I thought we were going to do this. I thought this is how life was going to be. And then it doesn't turn out the way you expected. More often than not, it's because you set your expectations too high. Now, you may think that's really weird because I believe in setting high goals and big dreams and big goals, but sometimes it causes us to feel discouraged, especially when we fail to meet those goals and dreams. If you have unrealistic expectations, if you have unrealistic expectations of your relationships, of even a trip, even a day, of a sales goal, of a equipping goal, of a attracting goal, of recruiting goal, it can absolutely devastate you. So I just want to encourage you to revise them and make them more realistic and achievable. Make sure it's winnable. Now, set it so you have to stretch, but don't set it so far that before you even get started, you're defeated. Reality is different from your ideal world. Would you agree? Reality is so different than your real world, and it takes a lot of trial and error to succeed. The second thing I want to encourage you to do is focus on your vision. Focus on your vision. Focus on the big picture. The bigger picture. The bigger picture than the picture that disappointed you. If you're feeling discouraged and disheartened, then focus on your vision of the future. Don't ever forget where you're headed. Don't ever forget where you're going. And sometimes you have to slow down in order to go faster. In your life, look at it and say to myself, allow yourself to think about things or the life you want to have in the future. Not what you're experiencing right now. Think about where you want to be. Think about what you want to do. I want you to start thinking about what will be, what could be, and what should be. Whatever you're dealing with tonight, it's temporary. You need to write this down in capital letters. This too shall pass. So as you begin to have these pictures of the future, you need to start visualizing it as clearly as you can. It's amazing, if I talk to you right now about a beach, almost every one of you will pull up on the screen of your mind a beach that you've been to, a beach that you want to go to, or the experience that you had at a beach. Believe it or not, we as leaders and as human beings, we think in pictures. If I ask you right now to imagine or visualize a dog, every one of you will pull up a different dog. Some of it will be a Great Dane. Some of you will be a poodle. Every one of you will have a different picture. It may be even of the dog or the cat that you have. Visualize it as clearly as you can and let yourself imagine what will happen when the imaginary reality comes to fruition. Start seeing what you want, not what you're experiencing. Start seeing what you want, not what you're going through. Start seeing where you're going and not what happened in the past. Right now, how would you feel if you were able to accomplish that which you see and that which you want? When you start visualizing the future, how would you act? This visualization will help you feel empowered and motivated to let go of discouragement that you right now feel, that heaviness. Now, I want to say this to you right now. Some of us are too comfortable with living with discouragement. We're too comfortable of feeling victimized by it. And I just want to encourage you right now to focus on your vision. What separates you from everybody else in your family, everybody else in your company, everybody else in your team right now is your picture of tomorrow, a vision. It's so, so important. The third thing I want you to do is stop comparing yourself to other people. Don't ever compare your journey to somebody else's journey. Don't compare your victories to somebody else's victory. Don't compare your struggle to somebody else's struggle. Comparison is the seed of failure. And there's nothing you can do more to take something that is special and make it average than to compare it. You compare your meal, you compare your relationships, you compare your week, you compare your car, you compare your house, you compare. The Bible just is very clear. You're not wise to compare yourself one to another. Some of the most discouraging moments in my life have come because I was in great battle and other people seemed to be just flourishing. I was in the process of being developed and being empowered to go to a whole nother level. and they were already sailing. But I would compare my frustration and my struggle with their victories, not even realizing that their victory led to another struggle. So be careful with this comparison thing. You'll get very, very discouraged. You'll get very disheartened when you compare yourself to other people. When you begin to compare yourself and your life with others, you allow yourself to focus on their victories or the things that they're highlighting. Be aware, be aware. Because people very rarely post or tell their struggles. They just show the life that they want you to be jealous of and compare yourself to. So understand that everybody that ever wins in life has some setbacks. They have some moments where in their journey, they have to own their own letting go of the trap of comparison. I'm begging you right now tonight, let go of the trap of comparison, because it will make you feel sorry for yourself and make you feel defeated, and it will steal your motivation and your inspiration. So critical. Number 4, work on building your patience. Slow down to speed up. Rome wasn't built overnight. And I know right now you have great dreams and great goals that you want to reach. And I want you to have those. But I just want to encourage you, be patient. It takes time for greatness and big dreams to become a reality. I will tell you, if you have big dreams that come too quickly, a lot of times they will destroy you because you're not prepared to handle the success. I've watched a lot of people handle failure. They handle it. I've not seen very many people deal with success successfully. In your life, be careful of things that come too easy and just drop in your lap, because they'll make you think you're better than you are, and they'll make you think it's easier than it actually is. Stay in the fight. If you want to stop feeling discouraged, that's what you need to do, is be patient. Don't compare yourself. Get the right vision and change your perspective. So cultivate patience in your life, the ability to have grit and stay in the fight and win and do not quit. Number 5, I've already mentioned it, but I encourage you again, change your perspective. It can be so disheartening when you're faced with situations where things don't go according to the way you wanted them to go. Some of you today, some of you in the last 3 days, it just hasn't turned out. Focusing your attention on what you are going through and can't control instead of what you can control is very discouraging. You got to know this, control it's an illusion. It's not possible. The most successful people on the planet have the ability to be able to stay in the fight and have the grit to keep moving forwards when things are not working out the way they had planned. But if you focus on the things you cannot control, it will discourage you. Some of you that set plans and they don't turn out, or the schedule gets changed, it just disrupts your life. You have to learn to be flexible and watch what happens to you. I can tell you, if you're patient enough, you will learn and see ways that you can do the things that you're presently doing better than you're doing them right now. If you have patience, you can learn and unlearn exactly what you need to do. and you can absolutely move into your future. So watch in your life that you don't get so focused on what's going wrong in your life instead of focusing on the things that you can change inside and outside to help you win at a whole nother level. Number 6, prioritize time for you. Stay fit. Take care of yourself. Take care of your mind, your heart, your emotions, and your spirit. Another way to stop feeling discouraged is to stop and start. Stop ignoring yourself and start being aware and prioritize you in your life. I'm not talking about being selfish or self-centered, but watch when you start getting too low. Watch when, fatigue makes cowards of us all. So be willing to take a moment and take a breath, take a walk, and watch what happens. The studies right now of just you every day going out and walking for 5 to 10 minutes outside during the day, what it does to lift depression and discouragement off of you is amazing. Are you taking time, or are you just trying to grind through? One of the reasons you want to take care of yourself is in the process of taking care of yourself, you'll get more creative, you'll get fresher ideas, and you'll get a renewed strength and a renewed passion to go make a difference. You actually will get your perspective back in line. So, exercise, meditate, do something that causes you to get your mind off of your struggle and watch the negative thoughts start dissipating. You will begin to start thinking positive, and you will get motivated and inspired to go make a difference. Without energy, without passion, without you taking care of yourself, it's really, really hard to dream big dreams because you're just overwhelmed with this feeling of exhaustion, this feeling of I'm overwhelmed, the feeling of I've got more to do than I've got time to get done. And it will absolutely shrink your passion in your life. Number 7, keep a notebook on how to learn from your mistakes and your setbacks and your struggles. You need to ask yourself every day, what am I learning? If you're struggling in your relationship, what are you learning? If you made a mistake, not only admit you made the mistake, ask yourself, what set me up? Why did I make the mistake? Stop blaming yourself, beating yourself up, or trying to just sweep it under the carpet. Ask yourself, why did I do that? What was motivating me to do that, to say that? Or why did I not do what I needed to do? Why did I respond that way? You will be amazed how many times you're not kind to people and you're very impatient, how much you're dealing with baggage from yesterday that forces you to respond in the situation you're at right now. Matter of fact, let's just pause for a second. I bet you overreact. Displaced aggression. I was angry about this, and I bottled it up, and I took it out here. Be aware. Learn from your setbacks. Learn how to face your failures and your mistakes. Don't make excuses. Learn to say, it was my responsibility. It was my fault. Don't blame others. When you blame, you become lame. You start being very lame. You got to take responsibility, full responsibility. So when you have a setback, learn from it. Learn from your mistakes. Learn from the failures. And reframe, this is very critical right now, what I'm going to say. Reframe these setbacks as opportunities for healing and advancements. Watch. Successful people, people that win, people that sell more, recruit more, build more than anybody else, immediately, they don't blame, they don't put it on anyone else. They immediately focus in on, what do I need to learn in this situation, and why did I do this, or why did I not do it? Embrace setbacks as stepping stones for building resilience against discouragement. There's nothing that's going to replace your learning, your growing, and your stretching. Some people go through life. I want to encourage you to grow through life. Grow. Grow and watch what happens. Number 8, seek support from others. Man, the power of the other. I encourage you to read that book if you've never read it. Henry Cloud. Your friends, your teammates, your battle buddies. Get around them. Whatever you love to do, seek out people that are already doing it, and they're doing it at a better level than you're doing it. Don't be afraid of mentorship. Don't be afraid of asking questions. Get around people. Can I ask you right now, in the last 5 days, what are 3 new skills that you have learned? Can I ask you a question? In the last 3 days, have you been aware of something that needs to change in your life? How you can be more productive, how you can be better focused, how you can change your perspective? Or are you just living under the circumstances that you're in? I just want to encourage you, seek support of others. I've been doing a lot of reading on centurions. This is people that live past 100 years old, and they're finding some really unique things about them. Number 1, every one of them attend church every Sunday. But here is the thing that is so powerful. Every one of them have a really close group of friends that they talk to, they share one another's burdens, and they absolutely are getting support from other people. Is it not amazing that in James it says, if you confess your faults one to another, you'll be healed? Who is it right now that you're accountable to? Who is it right now that you can share your failures as well as your success? Who is it right now that you can talk to them about your struggles and not just your success? Not that you're being negative, not that you're a victim, but just sharing what's on your heart. It's so critical. I cannot tell you how important it is. Especially, let me talk to you men for a second. I know I have some ladies on the call, and you're better at this than men are. You have no idea how important it is for you to share your thoughts and your emotions with someone. But we view it as weakness, but it's actually a strength, and it's actually a pathway to great healing into your life. So I just want you to get around right people that have different insights and different perspectives. Now let me put a warning label right here, okay? Because a lot of us go to people that will agree with us and not challenge us. And if all you get is somebody to support you in your broken thinking, in your broken attitude, in your broken behavior, you'll stay in it. But if you have somebody that will raise the bar on you, it will change everything for you. I had a friend of mine, he was a mentor, his name was Dexter Yeager, and I went to him one time and I told him, I said, Dex, you've gotten me to the point, I'm afraid to fail around you. I'm not comfortable. And he looked me in the eye and he smiled really big and he said, good. I don't ever want you to get comfortable with failure. I want you to get comfortable with winning. Wow. Did it ever change my life? Can I ask you a question? Just me and you tonight. Are you ready to release your failure points and start getting winning attitudes in the place of those? It's so amazing how comfortable we get with negative thinking. I challenge you for the next 7 days to watch how negative you really think. It will blow your mind. When you get around positive people, do you move away from them or do you get closer to them? A lot of times if you're negative and you're a victim, you actually view those people as your enemy and as your competition versus viewing them as someone that can help you get to a whole nother level. I want to tell you this right now because I'm very serious. If all you have is people in your life that just constantly validate your negativity, you're never going to grow. And you'll begin to hate and you'll begin to despise people that raise the bar on you. And here's what you'll say: I just can't do anything right. Oh, no. That's not true. You can do more things right than you ever thought you could. But you have got to change your attitude that says, I will no longer accept that answer and standard in my life. You know what I love about great people in my life? Is they raise the bar on me. They don't accept average Tim. They don't accept unbelieving Tim. They don't accept doubting Tim. They don't accept victim Tim. They go, no. Here's where you got to go in your life. The smartest people on this planet, do you know what they do? They pay people to kick their hiney. They pay people called a coach or a mentor or a pastor to go, do not accept that thought pattern, that lifestyle, that future for yourself. Don't do it. And I'm going to tell you something right now because I love you, okay? This won't be a very re-listened to talk. Right now, the reason we stay where we are is because we're unteachable. When the student is ready, the teacher will appear. I wake up every day of my life, and I'm very positive, but I ask myself this simple question every day. What thought do I have that is keeping me from being all I was created to be? And what lid am I putting on my wife or my children or the people that I lead with my lack of learning and growing and stretching? I just want to ask you a question, okay? You're going to have to go back and take some notes on this, okay? When's the last time that you ever went to a mentor and said, do you see anything in me that needs to change? Do you see anything that I'm doing? Is there some place where I'm not committed? Is there some place where I'm not keeping my word? Is there some place where I'm negative? Is there some place where I don't care what my influence does to other people? These are deep, tough questions, but they're important. Number 9, learn new skills. Read. Right now I'm asking a bunch of my buddies to read books with me. I'm asking them to read books with me. And I ask you to read. I'm asking a lot of people right now to read a chapter in Proverbs every day with me. Whatever day of the month it is, read that chapter that day. Read it. and watch what happens to you. If I sit down with you right now and I had a cup of coffee with you, can I ask you a question? What's the 2 books that you've read in the last month that challenged you, motivated you, and convicted you? There's a book called Extreme Ownership that I want to encourage you to get. I encouraged one of my friends the other day to start reading with me, and he ordered it, and he called me, and with brokenness in his voice, he said, I am failing in my leadership. The speed of the leader will be the speed of the group. The speed of the leader will be the speed of the team. And by the way, please hear me right now. I love you. My name's PT. Remember, I love you. If you can't keep up with the speed of your leader, you will drag the leader down. And you're going to force that leader into a decision to either leave you behind, still love you, still care about you deeply. But if you're not pushing forwards, it's like, I don't know if you've ever seen a bicycle built for 2. If one person is pedaling and the other one is applying the brakes, well, I just think it should be done this way, brakes. What you know is keeping you from knowing what you need to know. And what you know will keep you discouraged until you release yourself into a new way of living. Listen, I know it's not easy. My daddy taught me only read the Bible. And when I was confronted by a friend, hey, are you reading any self-help books? Oh, that's not of God. Think and Grow Rich changed my life. The magic of thinking big changed my life. How I raised myself from failure to success through selling changed my life. Have you ever read those books? I wonder how many of you wrote them down right now and said, next week, I'm going to order those, and they will be, I'll listen to them on audio. Y'all don't know Oral Roberts. Oral Roberts had a school in Tulsa, a mega guy around the world. He kept How I Raised Myself from Failure to Success on his nightstand right next to his Bible. Norman Vincent Peale. How to get rid of worry in your life. Are you learning? Are you growing? Learning new skills, working on something new and interesting overcomes a feeling of discouragement. I have some big dreams here at G5. You got to come. Matter of fact, G5, we're going to have a conference April 19th, 20th, and 21st. Get here. Sneak in. Friday night's going to be all on inspiration. Saturday will be all on equipping. Going to the next level. The whole theme of G5 conference is on increase. Can I ask you a question? Have you already increased this year? Are you still the same person you were last year? How are you growing? How are you changing? I want to tell you because I love you. I'm about to close here, okay? It's not what you know. It's what you do with what you know and who you're accountable to in what you know. If you don't have a mentor, you won't be somebody that multiplies people's lives. You'll be a disruptor in their lives. You actually will keep the team from being able to achieve what it needs to achieve. So, focusing on new things, learning new skills, it allows you to feel better about yourself. You can write this down, okay? Growth equals happiness. Growth equals happiness. Number 10, keep going. Don't quit. Stay in the fight. There's going to be a lot of setbacks. There's going to be a lot of moments where you're discouraged. It's important not to lose your focus and to keep going. It's about moving forward and not giving up. Are you moving forward? If I get in your presence, what are you giving me in your life? Are you a joy? Or do you bring pain? Do you speed me up or do you slow me down? I'm not talking about being right here. I'm talking about being an encourager instead of a discourager. In your life right now, I want to ask you for the next 7 days to become somebody that helps somebody who is discouraged. I have a friend that's a manager at Disney. He comes to church here, and last week, out of nowhere, I was so busy, out of nowhere, I had this overwhelming thought and feeling. Text Dave. I just said, hey, Dave, you're on my heart. I'm praying for you. It's going to be okay. He came up to me at church on Sunday and said, you have no idea. At that moment, I was in one of the toughest meetings of my life, and your timing was ridiculous. How many times a week are you encouraging the encourager? Who encourages the encourager? I just want to encourage you to try to focus on what's ahead of you, not on what you're going through. To focus on the victory and the celebration, not the struggle. To be the person that does not speak death, but speaks life. That does not speak to yourself, I'm tired, I'm exhausted, I got no strength. No one knows what I'm dealing with. Those thoughts will never build you. I'm a victim. I can't do anything right. No. Start saying, I'm learning. I'm growing. I'm getting better. I'm a blessing. I'm fun to be around. I bring joy into every environment. I have gratitude. I've got so much gratitude that anybody that gets around me. We have Jen that comes to church here, and she's amazing. We call her our head cheerleader. Jen's just smiling and laughing. Now, she's out of control. She got in trouble at another church because she was too positive. If I'm going to get in trouble for anything, I want to get in trouble for being too positive, uplifting. Do you have anybody in your life right now that you have to protect yourself from? Because they just drag you down. Here's a sad truth in life. We don't like those kinds of people. Those people never get monuments built for them. But if you're not careful, if I'm not careful, I will become that person and not even know it. Negativity and negative speaking is so addictive. And it brings discouragement. I have a globe in my office, and it says, the world belongs to the encourager. I was speaking for Chick-fil-A, and Truett Cathy was still alive at the time, and he said, hey, why don't you come up to my office after this is done? And I walked into his office. First of all, he showed me his Batmobile. He loved that Batmobile. And by the way, I loved Batman and Robin. I thought it was a cool show. So I walked and saw the car, and then I went to his office, and he looked at me, and he turned around, and he was probably 30 years older than me, and he said, young man, do you know how to tell if somebody needs encouragement? I said, sir, teach me. He said, if they're breathing. Now, in our home, my wife and I have always spoken up to our children. We've spoken life over our children. By the way, we speak life to each other. We're big on leading with tones and attitudes and body language. Do you realize that 95% of what you say is not words, it's your body language? We've just always been big, so we come under a lot of attack. Well, you're just too positive for your kids. They're going to go into the real world, and they're really going to have a hard time. And I went, no, they're going to remember that somebody loves them and believes in them and cares for them. Now, I've gone way over tonight, and I apologize. Matter of fact, can I tell you, my anticipation is that this talk tonight would be about 20 minutes. Wow. I think this is such a need in all of our lives right now to not only encourage yourself, but become an encourager to other people. Lift them up, believe in them. I'm proud of you. You've got what it takes. Your best days are ahead of you. I love you. Charge.